In Book 12 of the Odyssey, Odysseus is retelling of his adventures. And one of the most interesting scenes to me is when he is crossing by the island of the Sirens. I love this poem by Margaret Atwood called Siren's Song, in which she takes the perspective of the sirens calling to Odysseus. And she, in a way, responds to the Odyssey by having a dialogue through the two songs, the songs that Odysseus sings when he tells the story of his heroics, and the songs the sirens could be singing. And there's a lot to unpack there. I want to just start by reading a little bit from the Odyssey translated by Emily Wilson, and then I'd like to recite Margaret Atwood's version so you can kind of hear the conversation. And then I hope you start to ask some questions and think about that poem a little bit more deeply and what really comes out when you see these two works in conversation with one another. So here's what happens in the Odyssey. This is book 12, around lines 180. Odysseus and his men are traveling fast, trying to get out of the earshot of the sirens. They knew our ship was near and started singing. And here's what the song is relayed. Odysseus, come here. You are well known from many stories. Glory of the Greeks. Now stop your ship and listen to our voices. All those who pass this way hear honeyed song poured from our mouths. The music brings them joy, and they go on their way with greater knowledge. Since we know everything the Greeks and Trojans suffered in Troy, by God's will, and we know whatever happens anywhere on earth. Their song was so melodious, I longed to listen more, Odysseus says. I told my men to free me. I scowled at them, but they kept rowing. All the other men have earplugs in their ears, and Odysseus is tied to the mast to try to hear this song, but he has been warned ahead of time that he should make sure he's tied and bound tightly so that he can't get off the ship, because all who actually listen to the siren song will go to their death, right? So there's something about the song that they're singing. Now that's the song that Homer says the sirens were singing. Atwood's version is a little bit different. This is the one song that everyone wants to learn. The song that is irresistible. The song that forces men to leap overboard in squadrons, even though they see the beached skulls. The song that nobody knows, because everyone who has heard it is dead, and the others can't remember. Shall I tell you a secret? And if I do, will you get me out of this birdsuit? I don't enjoy it here, squatting on this island, looking picturesque and mythical with these two feathery maniacs. I don't enjoy singing this trio, fatal and valuable. I will tell the secret to you, only to you. Come closer. This song is a cry for help. Help me. Only you can. You are unique at last. Alas, it is a boring song, but it works every time. It's a great song. I don't want to really analyze the poem itself because I think that poems are best just experienced. If you want to recite it, memorize it, hear it over and over again. But it's also worthwhile to have it in conversation with Book 12 of the Odyssey, the two different perspectives and what are they doing and what are they suggesting about our pride versus humility, submission, expectations of one another, singing, the allure of songs, the allure of poems, the allure of self-focus and self-congratulation. And I just think there's a lot of pieces to that song that are worth unpacking. What song do you listen to? What song do you obey? What song do you live for? What song are you willing to die for? They're all questions that I think the Odyssey is asking and is highlighted by the way that Margaret Atwood writes her poem, her song. Here's the Siren song. Now, what's your song?